Luffy beats Kaido, but can he beat Goku? Brad beats Cancer, but can he beat Goku though? Chris beats his wife, but can he wait what? Ah yes, power scaling, shonen battles, cockfights, the shit that turns us anime fans on. And today we're going to be talking about power scaling, especially power scaling characters that have nothing to do with each other, because debates between this character versus this character or this group versus this group has always occurred throughout the course of history. And as fun and entertaining it can be, I just find it sad and silly because it just devolves into a shit show because there are people who just can't admit that Goku cannot beat Superman. And by the way, he can't beat Cancer either, he needed pills from the future. And people getting too defensive when their favorite character loses. In short, people who take this shit too seriously. Deku can beat Naruto, negative difficulty. Who gives a shit? These two have completely different sets of power system. They're not even from the same universe. And even if they were, why the fuck would they even fight in the first place? And at the end of the day, they're just Japanese cartoons, so just grow up. By the way, 99% of you who are watching are not subscribed, and that's very sad. I would really like it if you would, subscribe. Anyways. And like I said, power scaling inherently sucks because it's never going to be accurate or consistent because the writers are always going to nerf or buff the characters when they feel like it. For example, the Flash, who is known to be as strong as Superman and fast enough to go back in time, can't dodge a fucking punch coming at normal speed and gets his ass whooped. Or say Master Roshi from Dragon Ball Z, who hasn't fought anyone for the past 20 years, fought against a Frieza clone from a different universe in the Tournament of Power. That is complete dog shit. But like it or not, it happened, so yes, this Roshi is stronger than Vegeta, Goku, Piccolo, and definitely the first 3 Frieza forms. Cause this is a canon event, and we all understand the significance of a canon event, right? Okay, for those of you who don't understand, canon events in a story are the things that will happen no matter what. It is the threads of causality. It is the plot itself. No matter how shitty that plot turns into. For example, it is like the inevitable death of Uncle Ben, all the things that I've mentioned before, Hitler coming into power, Naruto becoming the Hokage is a canon event. Spider-Man getting cucked is a canon event. Zoro always beating a minority is a canon event. So what I mean to say is that no matter what happens, nothing can stop these canon events from happening. Not even the authors. In fact, the authors or writers themselves will bullshit their way into making the canon events happen. And this is the reason why we end up getting shit like this. And this is also why most of the shonen MCs end up becoming a god by the end of the series. Or get an ass pull of a power-up. And this is also why I really don't like overpowered characters, cause it just ends up into a shit show of inconsistencies and plot holes. Like how Naruto can do exactly what Jesus can, but he can't heal his own arm. Or the reverse, where the main character gets nerfed due to plot convenience. For example, Luffy struggling against some subordinates, only to then bitch slap their boss after a few episodes. Like what? Was there another time skip? And this just breaks the immersion for a lot of us. And another example, which is probably the worst by the way, is this scene from Dragon Ball Super. You see the God of Destruction blowing up a moon with just a sneeze, very impressive. But then you remember him and Goku had a full-on fist fight back on Earth. So why didn't the planet just blow up? Beerus' sneeze is planetary level, but his punch is just country level? That's it. Beerus' sneeze wins. So what I mean to say is that power scaling and power levels are just tools to execute the canon event, and they really don't have any impact on whether or not this character can beat this character. The only thing that has an impact is the character's plot armor. But there's no plot armor in a death battle. But that doesn't really matter if all your power-ups came from a plot convenience. Okay, let's take an example. Let's just say Kishimoto was on drugs and accidentally wrote a character that is as strong as Frieza into the Narutoverse. Would Naruto lose, or would he find a way to talk no jutsu and beat him? Of course he would beat him. It's his story. It's called Naruto. But would his new Sage of 600 Paths, 9,000 Tailed Beast, Reverse Gear make sense to us? No. Would we call it a plot hole? Yes. Well, guess what? This version of Naruto is going to be brought up every single time now, regardless of how he got these powers. And he's going to be able to mop the floor with almost anyone now. Well, that just means power level doesn't mean shit, because the example that I just gave happens more often than you think. For example, like I said, Master Roshi being in the Tournament of Power, or Gon's ass pull of a transformation to defeat Pito, or Luffy's Devil Fruit literally changing its name after 25 years to beat Kaido, or this blind guy from Hell's Paradise who got his ass whooped by a Tencent only to show up 4 episodes later and beat a Tencent who is in his final form. Like, what the fuck, did you turn into a Super Saiyan within that 4 episodes? Or is it just that the plot needed them to win? Well, if that's the case, then I can make an argument where Zoro beats Black Frieza, because Zoro beating a minority is a canon event, and we've got 1,000 chapters to prove it. He beat Mr. One because he could hear the rhythm of steel, whatever that means. He beats a giraffe, which are native to Africa, with an attack that hasn't been explained to us for over 20 years. This man got a fucking backstory after 25 years. After he saw his opponent's skin color. And we all know backstory equals power up. I am telling you, once Frieza turns black, he ain't going back. Zoro will open his second eye to reveal a Sharingan. He's going to have his third backstory, where he trained with Killer Bee to learn 8 sword style 30 years ago, unlock his Bankai, and he's gonna... But would that actually make any sense? No! But does Gon's transformation make any sense? Apparently yes, even though we've never seen anyone do it before. And you would think that in a show where everyone drops like flies, someone would have tried it. Or like the other examples I just gave, which also doesn't make any sense. So it's just like the saying, the characters are only as powerful as when the writer needs them to be, and depending on the writer, this can make or break the story. So if you have an unbeatable godly villain, you're going to have to make your MC into an unbeatable godly hero, one way or the other, to justify him being able to beat that unbeatable godly villain that you created. And if you have an overpowered main character, you gotta nerf him, otherwise the season would just end in 3 episodes. So at the end of the day, power scaling 2 different characters is kind of pointless because both sides can win depending on who is spewing this shit. Like how Batman beats Superman in one comic and Superman beats him in the other. Or hey, Luffy can beat Mr. Satan, but Mr. Satan could trick him into eating a devil fruit and kill him. So, who wins? By the way, I'm not trying to trash anyone that makes these kinds of videos. In fact, I find it interesting and entertaining. I'm just saying, hey, don't take it too seriously. Anyways, that will be it for today. I would really like it if you would like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, that's it.